has. No one's missed more field goals late and close than that's in the last 5 seconds on the free throws. In the 10 seconds, you can throw in field goals.
Well, let me ask you a question. Since he's entered the league, who's won more championships?
Okay.
And MVPs?
Okay, fine.
Since you put it like that.
Okay, fine. But we're talking about this shot at this moment.
The one that went in?
So you take the decision out of his hands because he doesn't have to think, okay, if I drive it, they're going to foul me, and I'm going to have to go stand there and make those free throws. He was 6 out of 9 last night, which is about what he usually is, but he'd missed 3.
Well, he didn't have time to drive it, Skip.
Okay, I got it. That's the point. You took the decision out of his hands because the last thing he was expecting, KCP winds up with the ball in the middle of the lane and has to kick it back out. And it's like, oh, my God. I got to shoot it because we're at the end of the clock. His quote after the game was, I just had to get something up on the rim because that's what you do.
Right.
You just throw it up there and hope you can get the offensive rebound if you miss. Because what are the odds on that shot going in? I don't know. What do you give it? Like it's below 10% chance.
Hold on. Considering who it is and considering the moment, 75%.
75%. This man shot this year from the three-point line 36.5%. That ranked 110th of 156 qualified three-point shooters. He is way below average as a three-point shooter, so that's not his forte.
Whoa. Maybe this is Tebow effect. You remember how Tebow got extremely accurate in the last 5 minutes of the game? Well, you see what you do? You see what you do now. Somebody can be bad for the entire game. Now, Tom Brady can be bad for the entire game. You say it's a game-winning drive. Now, how many walk-offs has Tom Brady had? His defense has had to hold up. The field goal kicker has had to kick. Now with LeBron James, you change it again. Skip, you got to stop moving it.
By the way, from the free throw line, just this season, LeBron is 69.8%.
69%.
That ranks 96th of 110 qualified free throw shooters. So he's a poor free throw shooter and a poor three-point shooter by his standards of being the GOAT. You're wearing your GOAT outfit.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. So by that standard, Michael Jordan was a terrible because he shot. You keep saying LeBron is a terrible three-point shooter, but this is what I know. LeBron James shot a higher percent from the three-point line than Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Well, obviously, I'll defend Michael on this because nobody valued the three-point shot.
Was the three-point line in? It came in 1979. Chris Ford was the first one to make a three. So was the three-point line in when Michael Jordan played? Yes or no? Was it in when Kobe played? Yes or no? So he shot a better percent from the three than both of those guys, a higher percent from the field than both of those guys, but he's a terrible shooter.
Well, he is a terrible shooter by today's standards because they have perfected the art of three-point shooting. The whole league this year made more three-point shots than ever before. They shot a higher percentage as a league this year than ever before. The league shot 39%. LeBron shot 36%.
So if he shot 36% and Jordan is around a 33%, so what would that make Jordan right now?
Okay, he didn't even try to shoot threes. He didn't practice threes.
Let me ask you a question.
But I do remember game 1 against Portland in the finals. He's going like this because he just keeps making threes.
So a guy that never practiced threes somehow made 6 straight. You see what you do, Skip? At some point in time, you got to come to the realization like a lot of people have.
Clutchest shooter ever is
No. That's not what the numbers say.
So finally, what does LeBron usually do? He usually decides to drive it and dish it. Drive it and kick it to another three-point shooter and risk critics such as myself saying, well, LeBron, you're the man, you're the GOAT. Why don't you take the three? It's your team and your turn and your time. You do that. But oftentimes he will drive it and kick it. Remember Kyle Korver in game 3
George Hill, he kicked a couple of them to UD and people jumped on him. But that's the thing though, Skip. If he passes it, LeBron takes the shot. LeBron takes the shot, makes the shot. Oh, that's lucky. See, he can't win because no matter what the situation, his luck or you should have done this. He did the thing that he was supposed to do. Being LeBron James, he got a shot up. He made the shot. Instead of congratulating him, said, hey, where to take a shot in a big-time moment for big-time players, that's what they do. You trying to find a way to criticize him.
I'm not trying to find a way. I'm playing off what he immediately said on ESPN live for the country to hear.
Yes.
I was seeing 3 rims. Well, how can I not call it anything but lucky? He's just heaving it at what he sees is a bunch of rims.
It looked like...
Guess what I found? Thank you, God, it went in.
It seems to me, Skip, that he got poked, if I'm not mistaken, his left eye more so than the right eye. So maybe he did have some double or triple vision. I think everybody that if you played the game of basketball, you've accidentally got a finger in the eye.
Okay.
And you know how it is. We've seen, now it didn't swell, Skip. We've seen guys in UFC or boxing get a thumb in the eye, and the eye closes almost instantaneous. It didn't do that. But you could imagine getting a finger in the eye. Now, this is not just a pickup basketball game. This is not we playing at the park. This is not we playing some willy-nilly game at the YMCA. This is for, you know, to go on. Now, I don't know how they judge this game. Is this a regular season game or is this a playoff game? It's a little fuzzy how they're going to equate it, but this is what we know. Only one player has had more game-tying or go-ahead baskets in the final minute. That's one Kobe Bryant. Nobody has as many playoff walk-offs as Go James. Nobody! So how is he not clutch if nobody... They've been playing basketball damn near 80 years, and nobody has as many walk-off game winners in the playoffs as Go James. So please explain to me, in all of my 2 million followers, how is he not clutch?
Your 2 million followers?
Yeah.
I got 3 million. So I'm going to explain to my 3 million.
Well, go
How
ahead,
about that?
Okay, go ahead. Explain it to him.
LeBron James has played, I think it's 320 more games than Michael Jordan played. He has missed so many of these. He's made a few of them. And a little later in the show, please hang on for this. We're going to delve and dive deeply into his career of these type of shots because he has made some. The best one he ever made was against Jimmy Butler when Jimmy was playing for the Timberwolves in a regular season game. That's one of the 7 walk-offs that he's made in 320 games. I'm sorry, 320 more than Michael Jordan.
Okay.
But the point is, that was one where you create a shot. If he had needed to create a shot with 5 seconds left and step back on Andrew Wiggins and made a 3 the way Steph makes 3s, you'd have me. I'd be in here. I would have given him a standing. I would have stood up on this table and given him a standing ovation. This was a minute left at the shot clock with no choice to make except, listen to this. He actually fell away from the shot.
But
And guess who he was guarded by? He was guarded by the smallest man on the other team. Little tiny Steph had switched on to him, so he didn't even... Wiggins bothers him a little bit, as we certainly saw in the first half.
Yeah, when they picked him up, they tried to tire him out. They picked him up at at full court. But let me ask you a question.
Wiggins blocked his shot. Remember, right early in the game, Wiggins got him early, and then he had another one blocked at the rim by Draymond.
Can I ask you a question?
So the point is, he got the switch on to Steph, so this late clock 3 is over the smallest guy on the other team.
Well, the thing what happened was Steph got sucked down because he knew LeBron was out there, but he's like, they're not, even if they get it to him, he's like, there's a greater chance that he's gonna miss than not. So he's like, he got sucked down on KCP, and the ball somehow found its way to LeBron. But you remember he hit a shot like this in the playoffs against Orlando. Remember he against
You know what? It was just like that because what was that? There was like 1 second left where there's no decision to make. And it was Mo Williams who inbounded at Cleveland. It's game 2, and they're down a game to Orlando, right?
Yeah.
And all he can do is catch it near the top of the circle and just turn and shoot it on Turkoglu. Remember this?
Yeah.
And Turkoglu actually plays him to drive, and I'm like screaming at the TV, just get up in his face. Turkoglu's like 6'8".
But guess what happened? You see, and Paul George was thinking just like Turkoglu played him for the drive. Well, Paul George played him for the jumper because he saw what he did to Turkoglu, and guess what? He drove right by PG, another game winner.
And he shot a left-handed layup off the glass because LeBron is naturally left-handed.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he really does with his left hand is shoot a basketball. Everything else,
with his right hand. With his right
hand, because you're absolutely right. But Skip, I mean, some point in time, Skip, the numbers don't lie. We can't keep saying Tom Brady isn't clutch or this guy isn't clutch if he keeps winning ball games in the clutch. And that's what LeBron does. This notion that he's not clutch when he has more playoff buzzer beaters. And he's tied with Kobe. Now, we think Kobe Bryant is one of the 2 or 3 clutchest players in NBA history. Go James is not thought of like that, but he has the same number.
If we do total career buzzer beaters, Michael Jordan leads all at 9. LeBron is at 7. And again, LeBron has played 320 more games than Michael. Just keep that in perspective.
Yeah, but how many at the end has he taken? You have to understand, Skip. You tell me LeBron James is not a scorer. LeBron James is not a shooter. So he should have like 2. How many?
I always say he's a scorer. He's going to break Kareem's record.
Whoa. That's no. Would you talk? Oh, that's just lying.
Well, it's a minor miracle because he's a poor shooter who's going to break the all-time scoring record. What does that tell you? He's the greatest driver of the basketball ever.
Well, Skip.
He's also played longer than anybody.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well,
you see what you try to do? So the only reason Tom Brady has his number is because he played better or because he's really good when he actually played?
Do you know how many of these shots he's run from in the middle of the clock?
See?
because he runs from him because he does not want to take. He'll take them or he'll pass it.
So now either he'll pass it, he'll run from it, he takes it and make it, and he got lucky. So how does he win?
Okay, how do you explain that he is simply the worst late-game free throw shooter we've ever seen for any star?
Well, he wasn't on the free throw line.
Okay.
So good. The best way to avoid that is stay away from the free throw line.
I'm glad you brought that up. There's one last piece to this puzzle last night that we also need to address. So what happens? Golden State goes down after the shot with a minute left, and guess who takes the shot of the night for Golden State? A kid who's not ever played in any playoff game. This didn't count as an actual playoff game, but Jordan Poole had never played in a playoff game. If we could just see this quickly. He takes a shot and misses it, and LeBron gets the rebound, and I'm saying, okay, now you can be the king. Now you can be the quote-unquote GOAT. Just drive it and get to the free throw line and ice the game. So what does he do? What does he do? Drive it, King. Just drive it. Take off. No, they can't keep you. Go. Go all the way. Go all the way. Whoops. Kind of lost the ball because I didn't really want to go in. He went in half-hearted and winds up having to kick it to Wesley Matthews for a 35-foot three.
He lost the ball.
Okay, because he was half-hearted. He wanted no part of the free throw line. You could just see it in his body language.
So let me ask you,
remember Game 5 of the finals last year?